Hi, this is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today. I'm here at PubCon in Las Vegas with Christine Churchill, who's an expert in the area of search marketing. We're going to be talking today about keyword research, particularly the first stage of keyword research. What's involved when you get started with keyword research? What kind of things are you doing?
Well, keyword research it's pretty much, and this is an area that particularly for small to medium-sized businesses is extremely important because it's their way of being able to compete with bigger companies.
Okay. They
don't have the budget or the pay-per-click dollars to be able to compete at the very top level. So they need to find a niche that hasn't been exploited by the bigger guys that have all the deep pockets. And then they can go into keyword research.
If I'm a small to medium business, I mean, I know what keywords I want people to find me on. Don't I just put those down? I mean, what's the research part of this for?
It's for finding a lot. You can find a lot of undiscovered opportunities. You can find areas where you might know your words, but what you might find that area is particularly saturated by the big companies.
In other words, the price is going to be so high I can't afford to use those keywords and compete with the big companies.
And what we do is we recommend and we help smaller companies, because what I find a lot of times is the small businesses, they actually know their target audience better than some of the big guys. There's just too much bureaucracy a lot of times on the bigger companies. They've got too many levels of filtering that they don't actually talk with their clients. And the small to medium-sized businesses, very frequently, they've got better insight into what the nomenclature and the actual terms are that their target audience is using, which I think gives them an advantage. And what we do is we fine-tune that. We show them new opportunities to find new keywords that they may be overlooking.
Okay. So let's get started now in this research process. So where do you start?
The first thing you do is you can brainstorm. And this is, everybody thinks they do brainstorming perfectly, but I think they overlook a lot of the obvious areas where they could do brainstorming better. Obviously, you can do it in-house. You can get your people in-house and they write down the keywords that they think are appropriate for their target audience, which is a good place to start. Some other places that I like to advise them to go to is like looking at if you have a third party that does a product review of your site, that journalist, they understand the layman terms of the audience, and a lot of times they'll use generic descriptions to describe the product. They have a piece of software, they might put it in layman's terms where the company might be calling it, they're too close to the product, they're using jargon, so they are describing it in this real high level term, or they're doing it by the
industry terms rather than the way the average person talks about it.
Exactly. And it's so easy to fall into
so
that trap.
Brainstorming,
interviewing the actual target audience. Sometimes we recommend doing surveys or interpersonal interviews with them. A lot of times also, it's something as simple as going to their tech support or their personnel department who's talking with their actual customer base and find out what terms do you use. And what I find is they use a completely different vocabulary than the guys in the sales department.
So a lot of small to medium businesses just kind of rush over this stage. But you're taking it seriously about really probing to find out what terms people are using.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's not given the emphasis. People will outsource it to people where it's not even their first language. I see that's something that the big companies have been doing. They think they're cutting costs by doing that, and they're really cutting their value, and they're hurting themselves. You've got to have native speakers, and also I find regionalism. Different parts of the country, we have completely different vocabulary for pop versus soda. Something simple as that.
So now, in this early stage, anything else that we should be looking at?
I like to look at online forums, online blogs. I do searches for the product name, the company name, to find out how people online are describing the products. And what you find, this is you get very recent information, you get very current information how the products are being described, which is a very good insight, because a lot of times you don't know what people are, they may have a nickname for your product that you're not even aware of, which is really funny sometimes. We go, did you know that they call you this?
I consulted with a company that didn't use the most commonly used term for their product or service. And it wasn't any place on their site.
Oh no. You say that, but I see that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's...
So, what do you call this first stage?
I call call it keyword brainstorming.
Okay.
And it's kind of just taking keywords and getting them into a list. So you can kind of order them and sort them and categorize them. And I call them putting into buckets.
Anything else on this first stage?
Well, just being open-minded.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're
We're going
welcome.
to continue this on in another part. But Christine, tell me about your company and what you do.
Okay, my company's Key Relevance. We're based in Dallas, Texas. We're a full-service search engine marketing company, and what that means is we do SEO, we do search engine optimization, we do pay-per-click management, we do link building for clients. One of the niche areas that we do is we have a very high-level SEO team. And what I mean by that, they're like 10 years experience.
Okay.
And we work with a lot of in-house SEOs that, they don't need to be told what a title or meta tag is, but they do need advice on higher level marketing strategy and a refinement. And so that's kind of our little area where we come in and we actually work with them and help them do a better job.
Well, thank you very much for sharing
it's a
with
delight.
us.
Always nice to talk with you, Ralph.
This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.